Hey guys, and welcome back to another Genshin video. Now today, this is the first video of a series that I plan to do on this channel where I talk about whether you should pull for a character or not. Now, seeing that 3.7 is around the corner with the new two banners that are coming out. One is Yoimiya and the other one is Yoimiya, together with the 4-star Dendro Shielder Kirara. Now, will I pull for that banner? Probably not, because I already have Yoimiya and I also have Yoimiya right now. Here. Now, my Yoimiya is C3. Alright. I do like Yoimiya a lot. I also have her signature weapon. So, there you go. But I will talk about the free-to-play options, because right now I'm also playing Star Rail and I'm kind of like free-to-play in that game. I did buy the battle pass, so probably not free-to-play, but I'm not planning on whaling and getting every 5-star that comes out for that game. But yeah, let's talk about Yoimiya. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the stats of my Yoimiya. Crit rate is 62%, crit damage is 226%, and another important stat is pyro damage bonus. Right now it's 46%. My weapon is the signature weapon, but another really good option that you could use is the rust. Not only it looks good on her because it matches her color scheme, like the red and the black. It also has, like, I feel not really can compete with Thundering Pulse. Thundering Pulse is, I guess, better at the end. Against a R5 Rust, maybe the Rust is not too bad. I feel maybe the damage increase that Thundering Pulse is very small, that if you're a free-to-play player, Rust is a really good option. Okay, so let's go to the artifacts. I'm using 4-piece Shimenawa's Reminiscence. I think this is like the best in slot for her, although you could use the some other options as well, like this set here, Echoes of an Offering. You could use this set. Also, another option would be the Crimson Witch of Flames. Alright? My ping is usually bad, but I saw a website said that Echoes of an Offering is really good if you have really good ping. The damage for this set piece does go down if you have bad connection, if you're lagging. So keep that in mind. The stats that you want on her is the usual thing: crit rate and crit damage. I don't spend a lot of time trying to get artifacts, so my artifacts are not that great. Want a attack percentage sand and a pyro goblet, and probably crit chance or crit damage for your circlet. Okay, so let's go to the constellations. Now, my Yoimiya is C3. I got a duplicate of Yoimiya when I was trying to pull for her, so this first constellation I got for free. Now, keep that in mind, because honestly, I feel that Yoimiya works well with C0. This first one, let me read it. Agate Ryukin. The Aura's Blaze created by Ryukin Saxifrag lasts for extra 4 seconds. That is the burst, which I don't really use and it doesn't really deal a lot of damage. Additionally, when an opponent affected by Aura's Blaze is defeated within its duration, Yoimiya's attack is increased by 20% for 20 seconds. Now, the Aura's Blaze is the mark that is created when you use her burst. And if that opponent dies, Yoimiya gets a 20% attack increase for 20 seconds. Honestly, it's not a great constellation. However, the second one is kinda good. That's why I rolled for this one. Let's read it. A Procession of Bonfires. When Yoimiya's pyro damage scores a critical hit, Yoimiya will gain a 25% pyro damage bonus for 6 seconds. That's why you wanna, be doing critical hits, and you get an extra 25% pyro damage bonus for 6 seconds. That is huge. This effect can be triggered even when Yoimiya is not active character. It's not a big deal, that line there. So if you happen to have like extra money, or you already got like a C1, this second constellation might be worth getting, honestly. The third one is just like the max, increases the max level of her E, which is her most used skill, and pretty much like what the entire character revolves around to. Next up, we have Constellation 4. I don't have this. When Yoimiya's own Aura's Blaze triggers an explosion, Niwabi Fire Dance cooldown is decreased by 1.2 seconds. This is not a big deal. This is kind of useless because you have to rotate characters, and her E doesn't really have a long cooldown. So honestly, if you're gonna go for constellations, I would suggest you stop at 2. And if you're a free-to-play player, C0 is absolutely fine. And the fifth constellation just increases her burst, which honestly you don't use that much. And the last one is quite fun, right? I'm gonna be honest. I saw other players using this. During Niwabi Fire Dance, which is the E, Yoimiya's normal attack have a 50% chance of firing an extra blazing arrow that deals 60% of the original damage. This damage is considered normal attack damage. So once she's firing her normal attacks, you get a extra arrows that deal 60% damage. It is quite fun, but it's for whales, and I don't think it's really worth, like $1,000. So we could skip that definitely. Now let's go to the talents. The most important talent here would be her normal attack and her E. You could absolutely forget about the burst. Keep it at level 1. I think that's a legit way of doing it. If you are really tight on materials and resources, you can skip that Q or that burst. But let's read the E for Yoimiya. It's Niwabi Fire Dance. Basically what this does, let me demonstrate it really quick, is that when you press E, you see 3 rotating fireworks around her, and during this period, all her attacks are fire arrows. That's it. Now this buff here, her E, you can do 3 full rotation of her normal attacks. Right? Let me demonstrate. This is 1, 2, 3. And with other characters like Jean that could buff like your attack speed, that might be faster. Okay, so for her burst, Ryukin Saxifrag, I'm not sure if that's the right pronunciation, but basically Yoimiya jumps in the air, does a AoE attack, and one enemy gets marked, and once that marked enemy gets hit by other characters other than Yoimiya, it triggers an explosion. Now, it's fine. It's an alright burst. It's just odd that Yoimiya can't trigger the explosions by herself, but it works pretty well. Next up, one of her talents. Here we have Tricks of the Troublemaker. During Niwabi Fire Dance, that is her E, shots from Yoimiya's normal attack will increase her pyro damage bonus by 2% per hit. This attack lasts for 3 seconds and have a maximum of 10 stacks. Now, she does attack fast, and if you get like 10 stacks, that's 20% more pyro damage. Next up, we have another talent here. It's Summer Night's Dawn. Using Ryukin Saxifrag, that is the burst, causes nearby party members, not including Yoimiya, to get a 10% attack increase. So characters like Bennett or Yunjin in my team right now are getting a 10% increase. And based on the number of stacks that we have on Niwabi Fire Dance, that's additional 1% attack. Now, you don't really have to pay attention on this talent, but basically if you do all things correct, you get a 20% damage bonus for your other characters. And lastly, we have this thing right here, Blazing Match. This is just for Serenity Pot. When Yoimiya crafts a decoration, ornament, landscape type furnishing, she has like 100% to refund a portion of materials used. But if you don't care about Serenity Pod, you don't have to worry about this. Okay, so let's talk about team compositions. Now, one great thing if you decide to pull for Yoimiya is that her supports are mostly 4 stars, and she would do great. First up, we have Shincho, Hydro support for the Vape. Second, we have Yunjin. She does boost Yoimiya's normal attacks, and Yoimiya is a normal attack character. That's the way that she deals damage. And lastly, we have Bennett for that extra pyro in the team to activate Pyro Resonance, which gives us 25% attack. Alright? Now this is a really good team, and the only upgrade that you could probably do for this type of setup is changing Shincho to Yelan. And with this version, you're using 2 5 stars. But if you don't have Yelan, you don't have to worry about it. Yes, you're dealing less damage compared to Shincho, but this version is really good, really strong. Okay, so this is another team comp that you could use. This time we're using Fischl instead of Yunjin. Every time we fire an arrow, especially if you have Fischl C6, that is like ideal, because every time that you shoot a normal attack, shoot an arrow, Fischl's Oz will also do an attack. This is a really good team, and if you want to run Beidou instead of Shincho, that is good too. I think the most important teammate for Yoimiya would be Bennett. Now for me, this is my go-to team for Yoimiya. We have Yoimiya as the main DPS. We have Kazuha to VV shred the enemy, reducing their resistance to pyro, causing Yoimiya to deal more damage. We have Zhongli to protect Yoimiya, so Yoimiya could do 3 full rotations of her normal attacks. And lastly, again for Pyro Resonance, we have Bennett. And before I forget, you could slap something like this, all 5 stars except for Bennett, and this will do pretty well as well. We have Raiden Shogun, because you could put Raiden Shogun in pretty much any team and she will perform really good. We have Yelan, another very strong unit that you could put anywhere. As long as the character that she's supporting does normal attacks, she's really good. And lastly, the Pyro Archon himself, Bennett. So there you go, just some ideas for team compositions. I think the free-to-play version, which is Shincho and Yunjin, is really good, and that is enough for you to enjoy this character. And you don't really need the signature weapon. Rust, not only it looks good on her, it pretty much is on par with Thundering Pulse. Maybe Thundering Pulse deals more damage, like maybe 15 or 20%. It's not a big deal. It's an easy game. It's Genshin Impact. And I've used Yoimiya a lot in Spiral Abyss. The problem is that if you're fighting so many enemies, she does have like a problem dealing maybe with like 5 enemies at one time, right? But honestly, I do have Hu Tao here, and I have her built too. We have Hu Tao here, C1 with Staff of Homa. But I know a lot of people are talking about, you know, Hu Tao being better than Yoimiya, but you have to line up enemies and do a charge attack with Hu Tao. And even with that, you don't really do a lot of charge attack. Yoimiya is much easier to play. She deals a lot of damage, and her team is also very free-to-play friendly. Now, compared to Diluc, flat out, I think Yoimiya is better than Diluc. Alright, maybe there are certain cases or situations that Diluc is better, but for the most part, like world exploration, Yoimiya deals a lot more damage. Now, before anything else, I have Diluc here with his signature weapon, and his talents are leveled 2. So, you know, I have like my experience is that Yoimiya deals a ton of damage on single target enemies. And if you're fighting 2 enemies or maybe 3, she's really good. Anyways, she has a unique playstyle compared to the other characters so far that we have. Rapid fire, fire arrows, really nice animations. If you like this type of gameplay, then pull her, you won't be disappointed. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you on the next one.